Welcome to 5 Minutes of Momentum. These episodes are a short 5-minute burst of inspiration, motivation, and massive action. If you need that little kick up the butt to get things moving and to inspire you to take massive action, then every single Thursday I'll be sending you through a 5-minute episode to download, digest, and implement to finish your week off strong. Are you ready to get started? Let's go. Hey, welcome back to 5 Minutes of Momentum. Today I thought I would share with you some of my favorite AI tools that I'm using at the moment, and I'm sure they're going to change, but I'm going to absolutely dive into a few of these because I feel like if you're a business owner and you are using AI, then just literally hearing about them from other business owners is always so helpful. This is how I found out about them, is learning from other business owners. So I thought I would share a few of them that I'm using at the moment. The first one is Whisper Flow. I love it because you can add it as a tool on your desktop and you can use it in any application. And basically what it does is it's basically a transcription. So you hold a button down, you talk, and it then drops all that text into whatever space that you need it to be dropped into. So I use it to reply to emails. I use it to, voice into, and I feel like it's actually much better than just using the voice section of any like ChatGPT or Claude. I find that it's much more accurate. It also deletes out parts where you've had to repeat yourself, or if you say actually no and then you say the next bit, it deletes out the thing that you said. So it's actually so good, and I'm finding it just speeds up the process. So typing takes so long. I feel like I get so frustrated with how long typing takes. It's so funny. And so now I'm using it to respond to clients in my programs, in the platforms that we use to respond. So I use Slack and I use a community in Kajabi. And so I usually just hold it down and then it types out what I want it to say. I sometimes use voice messages in there anyway. But I'm just finding, loving Whisper Flow across the board. Secondly, I'm using a lot of Claude Cowork at the moment. So I've set up a lot of Claude Coworks to do a lot of research and to do some specific things that are set up like an agent. So it goes and does it all for me. So one of them is to take a podcast episode every single Monday. It gets the transcript. It then turns it into an article. It then emails me a complete article that I can then easily just post onto my website, and it's full SEO optimized. I've got another one that does an analysis of all of my content. So every week it jumps in, it reviews my content on Instagram, gives me feedback on what worked well, what didn't work well, and then gives me content suggestions. I also have another one that goes and checks some of my Google alerts that I have set up for things like imposter syndrome, like the main topics that I talk about: sales, business mindset. And it then collates all the top articles that are currently out in the market, and it gives me ideas of how I can use that in my content. It also gives me PR pitches to then send, which I'm finding is so gold. I'm like, it's making it so much easier and faster to then pitch for media features. It also gives me podcast episode ideas as well from the current articles that are out there in the market. It just helps me see all the trends that are happening. The other one that I'm loving is Claude Design. Oh my God, it's getting so good. So my most recent freebie, the top 5 sales funnels that are converting right now, which you can find in the show notes, I created on Claude Design. So I created all the copy first, and then I basically jumped in there and it created it. So I didn't have to sit in Canva for 5 hours trying to make it look pretty. I find that Canva takes me so long because I'm not a graphic designer. And so using Claude Design has been so fun. I also have been playing around with using it for creating a few carousels recently, and I'm really liking it. So play around with Claude Design. Last one is LM Notebook. This is actually by Google. And what it actually does is that basically if you jump in and ask it to find the most up-to-date research on X topic, it then go and collates all the most recent, highly reputable and credible pieces of information. So whether that has been through top publications or reputable people, it then collates it, puts it all together, and then gives me a summary. It's so good. And it's been so much more helpful to learn that way rather than having to feel like I have to listen to a whole audiobook or have to read, because you know how much we're already in front of screens, to actually read all this stuff. So it gives me a summary. The other thing that it does that I'm absolutely loving is I can then click a button and say, give me an audio overview. And it creates like a little podcast, and I just hit play, and it's always like short, so 15 to 20 minutes. And I hit play, and then I'm getting an update with all of these articles in relation to this topic. Or, for instance, I did one recently around like courses of like, what is the most up-to-date research that you have around course completion rates? Email marketing is the next one I'm going to do. Like, really looking at different areas of business that I want to know more about, and to collate all the information in one place. It just makes it so much easier. But then the podcast means I can listen to it while I'm doing other things. It's so good. So definitely check that out. So they're some of my favorites at the moment. I'd love to hear what other AI tools you're using. And if you have any insights into what you're doing, I'm loving that. I've actually done a lot of integrations as well with Claude Cowork and Slack. So then I'm getting updates and getting new content ideas. And I've got a scheduled task that basically does some research on some viral content so I can get some ideas there. Like, it's actually been so helpful because it's just the research side of things on so many levels. So I hope that you love this episode, and I'd love to hear what AI tools are blowing your minds at the moment. Make sure that you check out the link in the show notes for those extra resources that I've created recently, and I have a workshop coming up on the 3rd of June. So check that out via the show notes. Otherwise, have an incredible rest of your week.